going on. So if I have a horse who's gonna get nervous about stuff around the butt, if they're gonna get nervous about being chased, if they're gonna get nervous about feeling a little bit cramped. So when eventually I'm gonna put this red line, I'm gonna put it through the inside stirrup. So you know inside is towards the middle of the circle, outside is towards the outside. So I'm gonna say inside, outside. My inside line, eventually I'll put it through that other stirrup, and then I can go riding her from here. I can pull her left or right.
Oh, sure.
You can do this with a bit, but we'll start like this. So eventually, I'm just gonna start wiggling this and see if she gets nervous. I'm just gonna go checking to make sure that I don't have any spooks here. So you saw her head go up a little bit, but she
Yeah.
doesn't care. And what I can do is I can start flicking, all the way over. Usually I flick onto the top of the butt. A lot of horses don't like that feeling of that line on that back leg.
Yeah.
You see how she's like stopping, not wanting to move? And then we'll see how long it takes for her to get used to it. Oh look, half a lap, good to go. I'm keeping a little bit of tension on the blue one, because I want to keep it above that hawk. You see the thing that looks like an elbow on her back leg?
Yeah, I know what a hawk is.
I want to keep it above that, because so every time she stops, remember, we just focus on one thing. She's stopping, I'm saying forward. I'm not focusing on bend, I'm not focusing on pace, I just want to keep moving. So usually she gives me one bad thing I don't like, I say no to that one thing I don't like, and here she's moving without stopping. So it took me 3 little corrections,
Yep.
now I've got a horse that's still going. And whoa. So that whoa, really nice whoa.
I've been doing that exercise
Wonderful,
on
I feel it. You see that there's a little lick and chew? So she's settled enough, she's not giving me any attitude, any worry. I'm gonna go, if you look, I can always let go of the blue one and pull her head straight in. Right, you see how I've got good control? I can always just pull her in towards me, end the exercise. So when I put it through that back, through that stirrup, I can't pull her head towards me. I can pull her head inside,
Right.
but it's kind of being a pulley off of that inside stirrup. So with young horses, I sometimes have to spend a whole week or 2 weeks on just these basics and settling the head so that they're not nervous, that they're not bolting on me, and that they realize they're not dying.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time prep work. She's saying I can go ahead and do it. But we still do those little checks. So from here, what's fun is, let's leave the tail alone. Oh, come on.
She has a long, thick tail.
So from here, what's nice is I can kind of try a left bend, I can try a little right bend, left bend.
Yeah.
Nice. This is a way that you can ride eventually down here.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on with 2 lines, but you can do this. It's mentally taxing, very, very good exercise. It's just like riding. So say you got injured and you can't ride, but you can walk, or say you just want to throw on a surcingle, grab a couple lines, you can set up a course and just ground drive. So I can go from 2-line lunging, this is 2-line lunging, in the middle, to transition into ground driving instantly.
Wow.
Ground driving is just, I'm just gonna be back here. Ground driving, you see how she was confused? That wasn't her saying, no, I'm not gonna do it, she just didn't know what I wanted.
What you were asking.
So
right.
you saw me go up to a pretty high pressure, because I knew she was gonna be stuck. So ground driving is, I'm just basically walking behind her,
Right.
and I'm gonna keep her on the outside. I'm gonna start getting pickier. A lot of horses don't like not being able to see you. But guess what happens in riding? They can't see you.
Right, exactly. I was just going to say that.
So I'm gonna try to pull her towards the outside a little more. So you see how she's always drifting inside? Even
Yes.
compared to last time? She likes being 2 yards off the fence. That's where
Yes.
she's comfortable. She doesn't like being within a yard.
That when I was riding her, when I first got her, it was very difficult to keep her on the rail.
And there's probably a reason.
Yeah.
She has one. Okay, I'm happy with how she's walking. But you know, you could go into left circle. I want a smaller circle. You see how I'm kind of flicking her butt with my outside line?
Yeah,
That's, it makes sense for forward pressure, because I'm putting pressure on her hip, on her rear end for forward. You know, and then I can go into a right bend and change the direction. I'm gonna transition up to trot. And I can just go into double line lunging. So say I need to get her used to the bit, or more soft in the bit, or anything. This is just a really nice, easy way. I'm coming in with more pressure with that kiss noise, because I know when she's got more she's thinking about, she's not as sensitive to the little click. So this is fun. See, I didn't like that. I didn't like her just, I'm still looking at her. All the same physical things as free lunging still apply. I'm looking at her in the eye, my shoulders are towards her, there was no stop cue. If I looked over at you,
yeah,
and then she stops, that's my fault,
right,
right?
right,
That's not her disobeying, she's just saying, you took the pressure off, I stopped.
right,
So if I look over at you and I'm expecting her to keep going,
yeah,
I'm not gonna punish her for stopping.
right,
I might be like, oh shoot, lapse of focus, Justin. So you have to actually be very focused, because if you're headed somewhere else, you're not gonna, she's gonna be feeling that
right.
and know that you're not really in it.
Okay.
So if you're doing that exercise that I gave you last time, and you lapse judgment on your stop, and you ask with enough pressure, but then she doesn't quite get it, and you're head somewhere else, and you don't escalate your pressure right away, you just gave her one less good repetition.
Right.
So that's why it's very focused work from both of us. It's not rote. Just do it without thinking.
Right,
It's
you
mentally
have to be
engaged.
into it.
I want a goal, more specific, more sensitive. Okay, we're done. We've done this 10 times on board. New thing, poles. Okay, now let's put up 2 poles in a little alleyway here.
Yep.
Can you back up through them? Like we just start new thing, mental engagement. Okay, we did our 30 minutes. We're done.
Yep.
Let them rest. So, go. Come on. You see how I know there's different types of pressure?
Yeah.
She's not moving because she's tense. She's not being belligerent. She's just like, there's lines on me. It's touching my butt. It's pulling on my nose. That's the hard one with, she feels a little pressure on her nose and pressure on her butt because of the line. So they feel a little bit stuck. So I'm just trying to break her free from that as soon as possible. Woo! That's a nice little, I wasn't going for it, but it's a nice little load. Good girl. Now she's on the outside. And I'm trying to keep a little bit of a right bend to her nose. Easy. No, walk on, walk on, walk on. Good. I just wanted to board a woman. She goes, her tendency is to go to dead halt and then stop. So I'm trying not to do that. Walk on. She's kind of trying to do everything she understands, and she's kind of jumping from one to the next. She's like, run, stop. She's not really thinking, what is he asking? She's just trying things. Oh, you took off pressure? Halt. She's kind of jumping.
She's trying to figure it out, right?
She's jumping between them too fast. It's a little kid with some ADD who's just like, that one, oh that one, oh that one.
Yeah.
So she's trying things.
Yeah.
That's good. But hey, look for the one that I'm asking. She's not as much paying attention to me. Let's do a little trot. I thought trot, and I started walking forward faster. And she started to pick up speed. I was thinking, okay, let's trot, we're gonna trot over, I was gonna give a marker, and she felt it. So she's very sensitive, but I want her focused on me. Let's go disrupt the cat. Let's go disrupt the cat. And just come up with the game, come up with the goal. There you go, good job. Like, just come up with things, have goals, be creative, have fun in other
Right, right.
Right? Use your imagination, not stressed, I need to train this horse, don't mess up. No.
Right.
Like, I'll give you the guidelines, I'll give you how to see if you're doing a good job, but then have fun.
Yeah.
You don't have to do exactly what I say, exactly how I say it. I'm trying to give you the guidelines and then have fun.
Yeah.
And then you'll realize, oh, they're getting better.
Yeah.
And
I do have fun with the groundwork.
And this is.
I like it. I know some people say, oh, I hate groundwork, I never do it, and it's like,
Okay, now see this new pattern. This is a fun one. This will be your first riding pattern. Once they do it about 3 times, they kind of get figured out. What do you call this? Look at my tracks. I'd call this a figure 8.
yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like a figure 8 to me.
But you see how we get a left bend in, then we get a straight, then we get a right bend.
Yeah, she's like trying to figure it out, I could see it in her eyes.
But do you see how we're mentally engaging her way more than a simple circle?
Yes.
So here I bend her in, now here I try to keep her straight, here I try to get a left bend. Her brain thinks lunging is circles, one direction at a time. She's not used to this. I actually have to think.
This is a good exercise for her then. Excellent.
You see how that one was better? It's getting better every time. Now we're gonna throw a curveball. I'm gonna go straight. Her brain's saying pull in. And this is how you change directions in a figure 8. You go straight once, and then you transition. Now we're doing the opposite figure 8. So now she's coming off the fence, heading towards the other side now. Let's go. You see how I'm always trying to keep forward movement? I can't guide a horse that isn't moving.
Right.
Forward movement and direction. When you're riding, especially with a horse who isn't as sensitive, or that doesn't have as many cues, or they're a little bit tense, or maybe you're a little less confident or more of a beginner, it's really hard to do direction and forward movement at the same time. And easy, and go. Okay, you feel how long that exercise was?